Welcome back to a new season of Real Reactions Zoom edition. I'm your host, Isabella, and this week we kick off the season premiere by discussing Netflix's newest release, Malcolm and Marie, written and directed by Euphoria's creator, Sam Levinson, starring Zendaya and John David Washington. The film invites the audience into the rocky relationship of Malcolm and Marie after they come home from Malcolm's movie premiere that same night. So, let's dive right into our new panel to get their thoughts on Malcolm and Marie.
You are by far the most excruciating, difficult, stubbornly obnoxious woman I've ever met in my entire life. I fucking love you.
Oh, he's so sensitive. He's romantic. I bet he's sweet, right? Well, I mean, yeah. When he's not being an emotional fucking terrorist.
Oh. I love the way you see the world, Marie.
Okay, welcome everyone to our very first episode of the season. Let's talk Malcolm and Marie. Okay, so what were your expectations going into the film? Did it exceed or disappoint after watching it?
I didn't really have any expectations because I knew nothing about the film. I was just kind of in it to win it. But very pleasantly surprised, let's put it that way, because I don't usually watch films like that. But it was good. I think it definitely could have been a little bit shorter. I don't think it could have dragged out that far. I don't know if anyone else agrees with me on that and why it was dragged out, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with that one.
What?
To be honest, I thought this was a movie about Malcolm X, and it took me like an hour to realize that it wasn't about Malcolm X. Like when they started talking about Twitter, I was like, I don't see how they're gonna tie the Black Panthers into this. But yeah, I mean, I didn't feel like it really had a plot. Like it was just people yelling at each other. I mean, there is a good scene with macaroni and cheese, but that's the only thing I remember.
I think you have to be in the mood for it because I didn't watch it all at once, but I think that if you are in a very peaceful state of mind, you can watch this and actually enjoy it. But if you're stressed or worried about something, I think that it can actually kind of add a little bit more stress into your life at the time, just because most of it is just one big argument.
I had actually like a lot of expectations because I've heard a lot about it on social media, and I heard actually a lot of it was pretty mixed, but I've heard mostly bad things about the movie. So I was actually surprised. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I didn't think it was fantastic, but I think some people are certainly exaggerating how bad they think it is. It did surprise me.
Yeah, I had mid-level expectations. Because I also, I saw the trailers when it came out, and I was pretty excited because I like Zendaya and John David Washington. Like, they're both good actors and they have a lot of potential. But I think I was a little bit disappointed by the movie, but not necessarily because of them, more of Sam Levinson's writing. I thought like it was a little bit too personal on his part. Like he, needs to like go to therapy about his bad movie review that made him write this. Like, I feel like he could have added some other things into this movie that would have made it a little bit more, would have made me attached to the characters a little bit more. Cause I feel like to both of them, I don't want to say I didn't care about them. That's not it. But I didn't find myself attached to either one of them. And the whole time I was just thinking to myself, like, go to sleep. Like, you guys are just picking so many fights. And I was like, can you guys just go to bed already?
Yeah, I 100% agree with what was just said. And I was actually really looking forward to the movie because John David Washington, and he's been one of my favorite actors recently, and Zendaya is really good. So it's interested to see what was going to happen. I hated it. There's no other way of putting it. I did not like it whatsoever. It got to a point where I was watching it. I was having a great day. I had my Dunkin' Donuts coffee, had my donuts. I was having a fantastic day. I look up to see how much longer is left. I'm not even halfway. And then very sad. The performances are great. It all kind of boils down to the script just being bad. That's really all it is.
Well, going off of that, the script, very dialogue heavy, and some critics are going as far to say that the banter felt a little forced. So what would you all say about that?
I don't think it felt forced. I think that it, in a way, if you have two people that are both heavily fighting and that are relentlessly, keep going back at each other, I don't think it's forced at all. I think, do you think it could have been prevented? 100%. That being said, I think Zendaya's character, Marie, definitely kept on prying at John David Washington's character to get more of a spark and fight out of him. I think that's kind of the whole movie behind it. I don't think it was like the greatest movie of all time, but I don't think that the dialogue was forced, and I'm open to debating on that one. But when two people are fighting like that, I think that's a pretty almost realistic way of how people would do it.
It was almost like Malcolm wanted to be a film professor, but he had nobody to tell his opinions to. So he's like, I'm just going to scream out loud in the middle of the night, and then maybe the writer of this movie, will write in some laughs from Zendaya, and then it will seem like we're having a dialogue. But it was just rants. He was just used as a mouthpiece for his rantings on movies from like the 40s and 50s. I was like, I don't care about this at all.
But I felt like a lot of the rants just made sense for the type of character this guy was. Whether that aligns with the director or not, I think that you spend a lot of time with these two characters. I at least think that even if it does seem preachy or like he's saying his own opinions, both characters I think are I found them well realized.
Yeah, like I thought it was a weird way to project himself into this movie. And especially like some of the way the dialogue was happening, and I've seen this criticism a lot on Twitter, but it's like, did Sam Levinson forget that he's white? Like some of the stuff that he's saying, I'm just like, dude, like, I feel like it was just kind of like out of place and out of pocket for like, a privileged white director. Like he's the son of Barry Levinson, who's like another prominent director from back in the day. So it's like, it's just kind of like, I don't know. I just thought it was coming from a weird place, I think, where the dialogue was coming from. And that made it feel inauthentic to me.
I just thought it was exhausting. And I think that can be a good thing and a bad thing, because I think that in real life, arguments like that are exhausting and you keep going around saying the same thing. Another thing that I thought was interesting was the level and the amount of bad words in the whole script. And that's also realistic, because sometimes when you're fighting, it gets to a point where you just don't know what to say and you just curse and curse and curse as a way of attacking or trying to express yourself where you can't find other words. But I don't know, it felt a little bit too long of a discussion, and that kind of, for me at least, it added a lot of stress into my life.
Yes. So the script, like I mentioned before, it was definitely something I didn't like. It was, the whole movie is just basically exposition, arguing, sex, LA Times vendetta. That was the whole thing. I really didn't really care about anyone. They come into the movie, they're already arguing. You can tell they're tense, but I don't care about either of them. They don't set up for me to care about either one of them. So they're just arguing. Like, I really don't have a preference, and I don't care. That was basically the whole movie. I actually have written in my notes right here, I don't care about the film or the characters' relationship. So that's the best way I can describe this whole movie.
Strong opinions, nice. Okay, we could have a whole debate about this. So let's talk about acting now. There were a lot of high emotions running throughout the characters. Would you say these performances were Oscar worthy?
The acting's terrific. Oscar worthy, it's hard to say. I haven't seen a lot of the movies that are in the running. And it's also weird because it's like sort of late in the Oscar game for like it's pushed back a month this year, but it feels like it's next month. So it's weird. I don't know if I would say they're Oscar worthy. Maybe. But there's certainly terrific performances though. That's what I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure, but I just want to say that I was really impressed with Zendaya's performance. I haven't seen Euphoria, so I really don't know. But the scene with the knife, I almost died during that scene. I wanted her to kind of go crazy. I really did. I wanted it to be real because it was just so good, and I was terrified. And I was like, oh my goodness, this person is insane. And I just felt that, and the adrenaline of it, I loved it. And then when it stopped, I was like, oh my God, did that just happen? Did they really do this to me? And it was just so good. I was so happy with that.
So yeah, as much as I didn't love the movie, I think the performances like never failed and are definitely what held it up for me. That's kind of what kept me involved, was the fact that they were giving these great performances.
Yeah, I thought the performances were like the only good part. I feel bad for Malcolm, the actor who plays Malcolm. Like first he did Tenet and then he did this. I'm not sure he reads the scripts before he chooses his movies. But I mean, as far as Oscars, I feel like this is just such a non-movie movie. Like this would have been way better as a play. I was thinking like this could have easily been a podcast. Like this is so just conversation. I was like, this is not cinematic. Like I guess there's a cigarette and they're walking in circles, but it's like that's not a movie to me.
I thought the acting was phenomenal. That's like one good thing I had to say about it. Is it was really, really good. Zendaya was amazing. It's definitely one of the best things I've seen her in. John David Washington was also good. Not as good as BlacKkKlansman, in my opinion, but I also love that movie. But they were both outstanding. Is really what kept me watching the movie, was their performances.
So did you guys like the black and white aesthetic?
It does give it an interesting sort of twist to it that you wouldn't get if it wasn't black and white. And I don't think it's like a huge factor in the movie. I think just sometimes people want to shoot in black and white. It's become a cool thing. I don't blame people. It's cool. The movie looks beautiful in black and white. I don't think I'd want to see it in color either.
It definitely makes you focus more on the dialogue, I think. It kind of adds focus to different areas and emphasizes other things about the shot than just colors, which I think is really cool.
I love that it was in black and white. I felt like I was in a play, and I know that that's been said as maybe as a bad thing here, but I love that I felt like I was in a play. I was like, wow, I really, really like this. It's like they brought a play into my house, and I really enjoyed it. And I think the black and white, for a movie in black and white, I didn't pick up my phone, not even once.
I thought the movie was good looking, definitely. The set design was beautiful. I love that house. As soon as they walked in that house, I'm like, this house looks sick. I'd love to have a slumber party there or something like that. This house just looked awesome. For the black and white, though, I really didn't really see much of a purpose of it. Like, it was just there. I really didn't care that it was in black and white. It just didn't really serve a purpose for me.
So the entire movie takes place in one location between the two characters, that beautiful house. So how did you guys feel about the cinematic intimacy?
I love movies when they take place in one location. I think that, or like mostly in one location, I think that is such a cool idea because it creates kind of this like almost claustrophobia, like you can't leave, you're stuck here, and you get what you get. And I think it definitely adds a kind of tension. And so I love it when movies take place in more than one location, or in just one location. And so I think that's one thing I really liked about this movie, was that like you don't see the movie premiere or like where they, where they're coming from and stuff. And I think it really solidifies this focus on these two characters and that it really is about them.
It definitely does, like you're saying, Jillian, it makes you focus on the words more, on the because it's really a movie where you have to focus on what they're saying. They did have like, it's a dope house. Like, it's so cool. It's really it's beautiful to look at.
Yeah, I feel like if you have to make a comment about, oh, the house is pretty, then there's something missing in the movie. Like this, I'm not watching House Hunters. I'm watching a movie. Like I want to see something happen.
Thank you all so much for joining this wonderful panel about Malcolm and Marie. We'll see you next time.
Mystery. The unknown. It's what supports the tension of a relationship.
You're angry.
No. It's a what if factor.
Marie.
Wow, those were some pretty strong opinions, but we love to see it. Malcolm and Marie was an emotional roller coaster from start to finish for not only the characters, but the audience as well. I think I experienced every range of emotion possible. It was funny, frustrating, sad, then back to funny, then back to sad. You get the point. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of Real Reactions. Although our reactions may be a little ridiculous and a little bit racy, they're always real.
Wait, just say that again.
Oh, I have notes for the movie. These are my pros, and these are all the cons. and that's my rating. So Malcolm Marie got my first journal entry. Congratulations, Malcolm Marie. He got a 2 or 3 out of 10.